see you there. There's a really good chance that, just like me, you might be working on puzzles at home. And so I wanted to create a project, yes, a project for all of you that sort of has to do with this puzzle concept. Now, recently I worked on a puzzle. This one I'm working on right now is of me on my wedding day. However, the last puzzle I worked on had one missing piece. And there's nothing worse. I'm sure there are some things worse, like contracting coronavirus and others. However, there is nothing worse right now for me than when that last puzzle piece is missing. So just like a puzzle, or a jigsaw puzzle, this project has to do with every single person, every single piece of the puzzle being necessary for every person in my class to learn. So in this video, you will get an overview, and it is kind of long again. Sorry, I'm getting really comfortable with these videos, so naturally I just like to talk and be the center of attention. However, this video is valuable because it has everything you need to know for the project for the next 2 weeks. I will avoid videos from now on whenever I can, but this is the important one, the big kahuna. All right, with that, here's what you need to know about our jigsaw puzzle project. It is called the Supreme Court Landmark Jigsaw Presentation. Each of you will be taking one of those 6 Supreme Court cases and creating a presentation just like this one to teach your peers all about a Supreme Court case. Now, your students need to know these Supreme Court cases to be successful in this class and, frankly, just to be a successful American because they all impact you. Just like Tinker versus Des Moines impacts students and young people and preserves their right to free speech, so do all of these cases for different reasons. So stay with me here, it's important. Now, your goal, and if you did not tune into my live session, I want you to pause the video at this time, and I need you to pull up the project descriptor, which is in this e-learning folder for today. And I need you to follow along just like you would in class as we go through directions. Maybe split screen it. Okay, with that. The decisions made by the Supreme Court, as you know, have significant implications for citizens like you and me. Over the next 2 weeks, you will be exploring a specific Supreme Court case, and you will research and analyze the case in detail using a variety of sources, things like videos, cartoons, images, etc. Finally, you will create a digital presentation to share with your peers about why the case is significant. Your goal is to become an expert on your case and teach your peers about why it matters today. Okay. Warning, things are different this time around. I am not with you in the class, which means that the structure of this project is going to be a bit different. Bear with me. The different steps of this project will be posted in each daily e-learning folder, just like we have been doing. However, when we've done projects before, like the Monument Project, everything was posted in the project folder, which means that you're going to have to follow along and make sure you're keeping things straight in those daily folders. It will follow a calendar, which I will show you in just a moment, but you will not be able to access things early, except for the rubric I will give you with plenty. I'll give you it today, so you can check it out whenever you'd like. Here's my pro tip for you. If you do things on the days I assign them, you follow those step-by-step requirements, you'll be fine. Okay. You don't need to be like Stewie Griffin here. He said, "What is this? There's something wrong with this house. I don't like change." I know, Stewie. Me neither, but we've got this. All right. What are the cases you will be learning about, you ask? Here they are. Plessy versus Ferguson ruled that separate but equal is totally constitutional, meaning that people can be separated on the basis of race in things like schools or train cars. This is why we saw mass segregation not just in southern states, but even in northern states after the Civil War. This sign on here says, "Look, ladies, segregated restrooms, full-length mirrors, jumpers," I don't know what a jumper is, "and good golf." Okay? Which means they were advertising at this time, especially in southern states, to try and appeal to segregation, which means that our country was so backwards because it actually promoted segregation. And so somebody who maybe was Caucasian might be driving down the highway, see this advertisement, and think to themselves, that sounds like a nice advertisement. Scary stuff, right? This Supreme Court case made that okay. Remember, not everything done with the Constitution is good. It's a fiddle, right? Some of the music is great. Some of it is god-awful. This is one of those god-awful cases. I never shy away from the bad stuff because I think it's really important to reflect on what actually happened in this country's history. Okay, that's one. The second case, the reversal of Plessy, Brown versus Board of Education, made segregation illegal. And it happened with kids in schools. The plaintiff in this case, meaning the person who actually complained about their rights being violated, were students. Again, my youth activism thing, right? Okay, you may have heard of this case before, but we're going to look much more in depth here. Now, this next one, Texas versus Johnson. Is the burning of the American flag constitutional? We will find out. Okay. Korematsu versus the United States. Again, another piece of music played on the Constitution that is awful. This actually constitutionally protected the government in their attempt to prevent spying during World War II. In order to prevent spying, Franklin Delano Roosevelt issued an executive order during which he said that all American citizens of Japanese descent needed to be rounded up and put into internment camps in order to protect national security because they're Japanese, so they might spy. Interesting. This case is especially interesting because we have gone back on this many times. But remember, the Supreme Court gets the last word. Okay. This next one is especially interesting because it has to do with young people. Did you ever in your lives, maybe at a sleepover, maybe before this whole Corona thing, participate in a prank call? You should be careful. This case is all about a prank call that went all the way to the Supreme Court. And it has to do with juvenile rights. Okay. Next one, Miranda versus Arizona. You know, on cop shows when they arrest someone and they say, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can be used against you in a court of law. Those rights did not exist before 1966. And those are called the Miranda rights because of this case. All right. So those are our 6 cases in our jigsaw. Each of you has already been assigned one. In this e-learning folder, there are a set of assignments. You have been assigned one of them. I had to use technology here. So if it didn't work, if you didn't get assigned one, or you got assigned 2, like let's say your folder says Korematsu versus United States and Brown versus Board of Education, please tell me. You should only have one. And if you want to pause the video and find your name on here, you can see which case you have, depending on your class period. Okay. So here's the steps for the project itself. Step 1 is research. You're going to dive into research for your assigned case using the case summary, just like Tinker versus Des Moines. You're going to start by watching the introduction video or videos provided at the top of the case summary. Next, carefully read and annotate, it's required, the entire case summary. Finally, complete the comprehension activity at the end of the case summary. Be sure to only read your assigned case summary. Don't read all of them. All right, here's the breakdown. The e-learning folder should have this assigned. Find your case summary assignment, watch the video, read and annotate the summary, and complete at the end. There's going to be a comprehension activity. It is important to know that all of your summaries have the same structure, but they all have very different information and different activities. They all have a video, maybe even 2. They all have a summary, and they're going to ask you to annotate, and they all have some sort of comprehension activity at the end. All of those things are required for you to do and submit by May 5th. That's next Tuesday. Okay. Again, everyone is different in the content you have here, so be really careful. Make sure you're reading all directions before you submit. Cool. Step 2, the case analysis. Just like we did with Tinker versus Des Moines, you're going to complete a case analysis. You just submitted this actually on Monday. The case analysis is going to have all of those key terms, things like plaintiff, precedent, defendant, opinion, dissent, majority, right? Those key words that you learned about with the Tinker case are going to be applied here as well. So on May 6th, you're going to go to your e-learning folder. You're going to find the case analysis activity. Use your summary to complete that case analysis. Cool? I'm going to show you right now what that looks like, just for your reference. It is the exact same as the Tinker one. It's even the same color, okay? This is what you are completing. Now, last thing I will say, some of them I'm not going to give away which case it is. There is one in particular that has no disagreement, no dissent, meaning that all 9 justices, is actually 8 at the time because somebody passed away, all 8 of them were in agreement, which means there was a blank box here. There's nothing to put there, which means in that box, I would need you to tell me there were no justices that disagreed. Okay. It is not okay to leave these boxes blank. This is research. They should be jam-packed. Bullet points are cool. You don't need complete sentences, but I need lots of information. A lot of your Tinker case analyses were incredibly lacking, and it's almost like you guys forgot those awesome research skills we learned with the amendment project. I need you to apply those here, please, okay? If you have any questions about what goes in boxes, please ask. But do not think that you're getting away with it if you submit a half-done case analysis. I'm just going to keep bothering you to do better, okay? All right, back to our slideshow here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do to try to reach out to every group is next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm going to have Zoom conference calls with each case. Which means all of my first period Brown versus Board of Education people, third period, fourth period, sixth period, ninth period, are all going to join me at 1:30 to 2 o'clock next Thursday. And we're going to go through essentially the information in the case. I want to double check that you guys all have the right information, you have what you need, and it's all very case specific. It is 30 minutes of your life. It is really important that you're there. It is required. So if you are not able to make that time, especially on this Wednesday day, because technically that is a day where the related arts gym, everything else might be. So if there is an overlap, please communicate and let me know. And I'm going to try and problem solve with your teachers directly for that Wednesday. Or let's say you're busy on the Tuesday or the Thursday. We're going to schedule other times to have this conference call. I want to check to make sure that you're on track because I don't want you creating a presentation at the end that is just all over the place. So I'm trying to help you now before letting you get to the end and having you redo it, which would stink. All right? Okay. Now, step 3, create a presentation. You're going to be creating an engaging and informative presentation to share with your peers about your case. Start by watching the How to Use Keynote. We're going to use a new app called Keynote here. It's a presentation software. Super easy to use, just like Google Slides. Next, use your completed case summary and case analysis to craft your presentation. So on May 8th is when we're going to start working on these. You're going to watch a video, an introduction, I promise it's short, explaining how to work Keynote. But also in that video, I'm going to explain how to do these screen recordings. Your presentation is not just a series of slides. Your presentation is just like this. It's going to be a video where you are teaching us all about your Supreme Court case. Cool. Now, there's also going to be a planning document for you to plan out what to say, sort of a script here. I have to do this as well. I retake these videos like 6 or 7 times before sending them to you. And you're going to create your presentation and record your screen recording. You have a week to do it. This is due on May 14th, which is a Thursday. I'm also going to post an example, and I'm going to use Tinker as my example, just like I did yesterday with the collage. That example is just a suggestion for you to be most successful during these presentations. Now again, a successful presentation will have slides with information, images from your research, case analysis, right? Just like I try to put presentations together for you. However, it will also have the screencast with the audio as if you were presenting in front of us. So it is a combination of those two things, not just slides. Cool. Your presentation should be informative and detailed. You are the expert. You are the teacher. Even put little teacher emojis in there. It has to be engaging. Pictures, not too many words, right? Bullet points, bullet points, bullet points. Mrs. Lopez, I don't know what to put on my slide. Bullet points. Yes? And it should be professional and polished. It should be like we are all professional expert law professors. Cool? All right. Here's the calendar. Today, the 30th, we are assigning the project and assigning your cases. You have tomorrow and Monday to read your case summary and complete your comprehension activities, your annotations. They are going to be submitted. I would submit them right away at the start of the day on Tuesday. Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that is when we are doing those Zoom conferences that you see in blue on your screen. Fridays when your case analysis is due and when I'm going to start introducing the keynote presentation part of this. And then finally, you have the whole next week to work on your presentation. It is due on Thursday by the end of the day. The reason I need it by the end of the day, 3:10 p.m., is because I'm going to put those presentations into folders for your classes. So students are going to be required to go and learn from your presentations on that Friday, as well as the following week, a few days. Cool. With that, we are done learning all about this project. Oh my goodness, I forgot one very important thing, your rubric. I have tagged your rubric at the bottom of this project descriptor. People love to use this, and I love that they love to use it as a guide. This is how I'm going to be grading you. It is 16 points. That's pretty much the same as your proposals. So please take it seriously. Here are the different elements that you're going to need to include. I promise if you do everything in the days that I'm asking you to with this calendar, maybe even put bookmarks, alarms on your phone, etc., whatever, you're going to be successful. But this rubric is a great checklist for you to use at the end to make sure you're on track. All right, so let's get started, shall we? Step 1, after this video is over, I want you to go and play the Kahoot. It's attached in this e-learning folder for today. Step 2, start reading the case summary that has been assigned to you. You have today, tomorrow, and Monday to read the case summary and complete the activities that go along with it. Okay, as always, if you have any questions at all, please email me. I am here to help. I cannot read your mind, especially from a distance. So let's get started then with our Jigsaw activity.